A teen with a deadly infection.
Flesh-eating disease, it's real deep.
A doctor with one choice.
Without this surgery, you will die.
I'm not gonna let you cut off my leg.
A parent about to get even.
I'm going to destroy you.
LA Doctors, CBS Monday.
This week, Sophia Loren, Bill Murray, Shania Twain, James Brown, and even more stars have a late show date with Dave. Now, your local news.
Next on NewsCenter 6 Nightbeat, a drag race reaches speeds of 110 miles an hour. It's a race that cost a young man his life. Accused of killing a young wife and mother, now John Huggins prepares to defend his own life. And some say she's the woman who started the whole Clinton crisis. Today, Paula Jones almost came face to face with the presidents.
WKMG NewsCenter 6 Nightbeat starts now.
Orlando's highest profile murder cases goes to trial tomorrow. John Huggins has admitted he doesn't remember whether he killed Carla Larson or not. The trial has been moved to Jacksonville because of publicity. In June of 1997, Jim Larson's wife was kidnapped from a Publix parking lot. Searchers finding her body 3 days later, then weeks later, the arrest of John Huggins. Larson says, Jim Larson, her husband, says he hopes for the maximum punishment. I know that experienced an unusual amount of personal tragedy in his life. Anyone living in Central Florida at the time Carla Larson disappeared remembers how her murder soon became the subject of a nationwide manhunt. It took deputies more than a month, but methodically they pieced together the evidence that pointed to John Huggins. We now have breaking news in Apopka, where a drag race has turned deadly, killing one young man. We're going to take you live to Apopka, where Michelle Cimino is there with the story. Michelle?
If you've got a house, you've got a project. And if you've got a project, you need Lowe's. Coming soon to Melbourne.
Don't just watch the thrills go by. Ride the movies at Universal Studios Florida. Get blown away by the new Twister. Ride it out. Get into the action. Get into the excitement. Get into the adventure. And get in the second day free. It doesn't get any better than the best theme park in the world. Universal Studios Florida.
You outgrew your stroller, you outgrew your bike, then you outgrew your car. That's why we don't make cars. Instead, the Isuzu Trooper has more room inside than a car company like Mercedes would ever build into an SUV. Lease one now for $299 a month for 48 months with $11.93 due at lease signing. Because life is full of stuff that won't fit in a car.
The city of Titusville is setting the pace for tomorrow.
Don't miss the Space Coast's biggest event of the year, Business Expo 99. Visit over 75 booths, attend up to 10 different seminars, and listen to keynote speakers. Plus, meet the right contacts to expand or start a new business. Don't miss Business Expo 99 at Brevard Community College in Titusville on Thursday, February 4th. For updates, stay tuned to Titusville's official media partners.
If you've got a house, you've got a project. And if you've got a project, you need Lowe's. Coming soon to Melbourne.
If you see news happening, call the NewsCenter 6 hotline at 888-853-6060 or dial #6 from your AT&T Wireless Services phone. It's a free call for AT&T Wireless Services customers.
Once again, we've had a drag race in Apopka, a race that cost a young man his life tonight, a night of speeding. We want to warn you, the video of this crash scene is disturbing. Michelle Cimino is there live in Apopka with the story. Michelle?
Well, Craig, we do have and hear from Orange County Sheriff and FHP that this was actually one car accident. This happened here on Keene Road. They say that this road has become a hot spot for drag racers as well as people speeding by. But this car does appear to have been a one-car accident. It slammed into this tree that you see here. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures of the actual crash. You can see that the car was literally split in two. Now the young man that was driving was alone. He did die from the force of the impact. FHP estimate that he was traveling around 110 miles per hour.
Once I got here at the scene, it was just kind of hard to believe. You had one half of the car that was actually against the tree, and the front part of the vehicle about 85 feet, 90 feet from the point of impact.
FHP says that there was a group watching the man speed, and it was actually one of them that pulled the man from the accident and took him to Florida Hospital. Once again, this man did die from the impact. Reporting live, Michelle Chimino, NewsCenter 6.
As we said at the beginning of the broadcast, tomorrow begins one of the highest profile murder case trials in Central Florida history. John Huggins goes to trial tomorrow, and anyone living in Central Florida at the time that Carla Larson disappeared in 1997 remembers how her murder soon became the subject of a nationwide manhunt. It took deputies more than a month, but methodically they pieced together the evidence that pointed to John Huggins. For a 30-year-old construction engineer, June 10th, 1997 was another busy day, grabbing lunch from this Publix grocery store in Osceola County. Carla Larson never returned to work, and for 2 days her friends teamed up with deputies looking for the young mother, knowing something must have been wrong. On June 12th, they found Carla's body in some woods off Osceola Parkway near I-4. And 3 days later, detectives released this composite sketch of a man seen driving a white Ford Explorer like hers in the area. The next major break came 2 weeks later when someone set that Explorer on fire along A1A in Cocoa Beach. Meantime, an appeal for leads on America's Most Wanted led to the arrest on July 23rd of John Huggins, already in jail in Maryland. His own wife told detectives he had been driving a car like Carla Larson's and had been staying in a motel near Disney the day Larson disappeared. Surprisingly, Huggins talked to reporters in jail, saying he felt bad for Larson's husband, but admitting he wasn't sure he wasn't the killer.
I'm sorry that he lost his wife, but I don't think that I'm the person that did anything to Carla Larson.
John Huggins' record shows convictions on charges ranging from armed robbery to worthless checks, about 24 arrests in the last 20 years. In November of '97, he was sentenced to 15 months in jail for stealing power tools in an unrelated case. And Huggins has been scheduled twice for trial before. Both times there were legal delays. Now, you can, of course, depend on NewsCenter 6 for continuing coverage of the trial of John Huggins. We'll be in Jacksonville tomorrow morning as jury selection begins. A mother, a father, and their 2 young children, all found dead, victims of what investigators are calling a murder-suicide. It happened in South Osceola County, rather North Osceola County near St. Cloud. The Monroes were separated. The children, 8-year-old Randy and 4-year-old Sarah, lived with Mary Monroe, the mother. They occasionally visited their father, Ted, at the mobile home on Glassman Road. Investigators say Mary came here after work Saturday night to pick them up and was apparently ambushed in the backyard. Later, detectives found the bodies of Ted Monroe and his 2 children in a work van, victims of asphyxiation. Neighbors are shocked.
Out in the yard all the time, you know, and walk up to here and just like typical neighbors, you know.
Sad situation. Sorry to hear it. I don't know why things like that happen. No, nobody knows. Heartbreaking.
Investigators found a handgun inside Ted Monroe's truck, and they'll be testing it to see whether it was the weapon used to kill the wife. It will be at least a few days before Roosevelt Hackney finds himself behind bars in Lake County. He's the last of 4 suspects who were wanted for the murder of a Mountain Dora man last week. An anonymous tip in Miami led a special task force to his uncle's house, where they arrested Hackney without incident. Now, police expect to move Hackney to Lake County this week, where he will join 3 other teens already behind bars. Detectives say they all stormed into Billy Simpson's home and stabbed him to death. The outlook isn't good for a 13-year-old boy who caught himself on fire. Andrew Foy is at a Shriners Hospital in Cincinnati, where doctors say he has 3rd-degree burns on about 90% of his body. Foy called 911 from his Melbourne home Friday. He told the operator that he had spilled gasoline on himself, and witnesses say that Andrew also had been playing with matches. A Central Florida business has been gutted by fire tonight. Investigators think it's the work of an arson. You can see there's not much left of auto options on New Haven Avenue in Melbourne. The Brevard County Fire Marshal says they think someone torched the place on purpose last night. So far, No suspects. A young boy went out for a bike ride but ended up instead in the hospital. And paramedics say the 12-year-old was riding his bike on Grandview Avenue in Sanford when he pulled out in front of a car. Rescuers airlifted the boy to the hospital, and so far no word on his condition or his identity. An Orange County deputy who was hit by a car last night is home from the hospital tonight. Reserve Deputy Dick Lockman was directing traffic around an accident on State Road 436 and Old Cheney Road last night when a woman came through and hit him in a car. Ironically, another car drove through the scene, struck Lockman in the leg. He's going to be all right. The woman in the first accident is in serious condition. Yet another accident involving a pedestrian remains under investigation tonight. Troopers say that 45-year-old Anthony Bowden was killed as he tried to cross Silver Star Road near Pine Hills Road last night in Orange County. Investigators say the driver who ran Bowden over drove off. Now, if you have any information about who this might have been, please call the Florida Highway Patrol. Monica Lewinsky, certainly the most talked about woman in Washington, D.C., is talking to prosecutors. Lee Cowan has the latest from our nation's capital.
Rushing in from the afternoon rain, House managers were about to meet the person who's consumed their lives over the last several months. Monica Lewinsky, who'd been forced to return to Washington by a court order, spent the afternoon in her first face-to-face meeting with the team prosecuting the case against the president. But after more than 2 candid hours behind closed doors, her attorney said she had nothing new to offer.
And we therefore urged the House managers to report to their superiors that it is unnecessary to call her as a witness because all of her testimony is fully and completely disclosed.
House managers described the surprise meeting as informal, non-threatening, and normal for any team trying to present a case in their view that will suffer dramatically unless Lewinsky tells her story in her own words.
We found her to be a very personable and impressive young woman, and we found that she might be a very helpful witness to the Senate if she's called.
I was certainly impressed with Ms. Lewinsky's intelligence, her poise, and we're all trying to be helpful to the Senate as they go through this endeavor. And I believe that she would be a witness that would help them to determine the truth.
But for some Senate Democrats, the meeting was a slap in the face, some going as far as to charge it was unconstitutional and that it threatened the fragile bipartisan nature of the proceedings so far. But what got them more than anything was that prosecutors enlisted the help of independent counsel Ken Starr to arrange it in the first place.
What the House managers should have done was come to the Senate to ask permission to meet with Monica Lewinsky, not to Ken Starr and not to a district court.
Republicans defended the move, saying it's only in the best interest of the case as a whole.
I think it's a legitimate exercise that ought to be followed, and they're not out of line to do it. And anybody that says that's playing politics.
Playing politics is exactly what some people fear may be the result of this week. So far, there have been few charges of partisan bickering. But as one person pointed out, so far, all senators have done is listen and ask questions. Debate is still to come. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And you can keep it right here at NewsCenter 6 for the latest developments in the Clinton crisis. You can count on our news team to bring you continuing coverage of the Senate impeachment trial throughout the rest of the week. President Clinton was far from Washington today. He returned home to see the damage left behind by Thursday's tornadoes. 7 people were killed, 55 injured when 38 powerful tornadoes ripped through parts of Arkansas. The president appeared to be emotional as he surveyed the destroyed homes and uprooted trees in his old hometown. While he was there, President Clinton had an unexpected encounter with Paula Jones, the woman whose sexual harassment suit against Clinton sparked the whole Monica Lewinsky affair. She attended an event during which the president was the keynote speaker in Beebe, Arkansas, although they were told they never actually met face-to-face today. Some promising new research may help you kick a very bad habit. Could your urge to smoke be programmed into your genes? We'll have details coming up. And when the Pope's in town, people will do just about anything to see him. And soon he'll be heading to the U.S. That's next.
Rain is gone. Clear skies tonight across Central Florida means the temperatures will begin to drop. We'll talk about that and how long this nice weather will last. Weather is next.
You're watching WKMG NewsCenter 6 Nightbeat.
This weather report brought to you by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. When it comes to home improvement, Lowe's knows.
Every day, more people are choosing Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse.
And here's why. Only Lowe's has the appliance advantage.
With more appliances in stock than most anyone.
All from America's best brands.
Take it with you or we'll deliver it the next day.
Even on Sundays. You won't find a smaller price anyplace else. Guaranteed.
Use your Lowe's credit card before February 11th on selected appliance purchases, and there'll be no payments or interest for 6 months. See store for details.
When it comes to home improvement,
Lowe's knows.
There comes a point in your life when you outgrow those cute little pickups, at which time you might want to consider something a little more adult, a truck that can run rings around compacts. Dodge Dakota, with more room and more available towing, torque, and power. Magnum Power. Dakota, it's time to put away the toys. Now get a $1,000 cash allowance on a Dodge Dakota.
Hi, I'm Jenny, your server.
You know, I'm going to try the steak and eggs.
Okay, we've got a 9-ounce New York strip steak, a 7-ounce top sirloin, or 2 grilled pork chops, all with 2 eggs, hash browns, and 3 buttermilk pancakes. It's breakfast the size of dinner.
You serve that all day, right?
You bet.
Then it's going to be a long day.
Maybe for you. I go home in an hour. Like I say, there's always something new cooking at Perkins.
Stanley Steamer makes you feel right at home.
Stanley Steamer Carpet Cleaner. We're the people you trust. With trained professionals, caring and friendly. On time to meet your schedule. Providing a deep quality clean for your carpet. And right now you can call Stanley Steamer and ask about this great special. Stanley Steamer. For 50 years, making you feel right at home.
I can't remember. Did I leave the iron on? I hope I don't burn the house down. That wouldn't be.
Maybe I worded it too strongly. If my boss finds out, I could be out of a job.
Another beautiful day. Maybe I'll just go to the beach.
Life's complicated. Thanks to the reliable, roomy Accord, there's a port in the storm.
Lease a 99 Accord LX at the very special price of $219 a month for 36 months.
An embarrassing announcement tonight on NBC had at least half the country believing Joe DiMaggio had died. Well, it was wrong. The message ran across the bottom of the screen tonight during Dateline NBC. Instead, DiMaggio is alive and in the hospital. NBC says the announcement had been prepared earlier today as an obituary in case the baseball great died, and a technician accidentally and inadvertently put it on the screen. Well, they braved the cold, overflowing portable toilets, and mounds of trash to see the Pope, and they say it was worth it. 1 million people turned out today in Mexico City for the biggest event of John Paul's latest trip to Mexico. The crowd chanted, "Mexico, always faithful." Thousands of makeshift cardboard periscopes poked above the crowd so that people from a mile away could see the altar as they got a glimpse of the Pope. On Tuesday, the Pope visits St. Louis, where he will meet with President Clinton.
Now, at Michael's weather.
It is a much different situation tonight than last night. The only thing we can see on the long-range radar, the tail end of the storm system with the rain showers well off the coast of North and South Carolina. That is it. You can see it leaving our coast, too, as well. We're left with clear skies tonight and winds coming out of the north, and that means temperatures will begin to drop. But I wanted to show you how much rainfall we got. 4 inches of rain in Ocala, Leesburg about an inch, over an inch in Winter Haven, Orlando, the same thing. Daytona Beach had 2.6 inches of rain, and some of us fell in behind that. But we did get a lot of rain out of the system, and thank goodness we didn't get the heavy activity other than the one tornado warning that we had in Daytona Beach or Lake Helen. 73 was the high this afternoon in Sanford, 66 Ocala, 72 in Orlando. Right now, it is 55 degrees in Orlando, 52 in Ocala. Winds out of the northwest, a little light, for example, north 5 miles per hour Ocala, but the overall theme is northwest, and tomorrow they'll be shifting more northerly. The reason that's happened is cold front, like we said, has made it through. High pressure is entrenched over the southeast, and it's going to be a stubborn high. It's going to hold on here for a while, not allowing systems for the most part to make it through here. We've cleared things out tonight. That means the temperatures will fall, but we're not worried anything about freezing temperatures here in Central Florida. It's just going to be nice. Here's the high pressure area. One cold front will make it here. It's a dry cold front that kind of comes in backward here. That will push through here. You won't even know it late Tuesday and Wednesday, but it'll kind of sustain things, make it continue to be nice. 50 degrees is what I'm going for a low tonight in Daytona Beach. 44 Ocala. I'm going to go 49 Leesburg and 50 in Orlando. Clear skies tonight. Tomorrow, winds more decidedly out of the north and high temperatures in the middle 70s. For example, 74 for Leesburg and Ocala, Orlando 76, mostly sunny skies. I just put a couple of clouds in just for good measure, that's all. Clear and cool tonight, 48 to 52. North winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, 74, 77, winds north at 10. We have a small craft caution still in effect because the winds are whipping up northwest at 15 knots tonight. Choppy conditions, they'll subside later on tonight, early tomorrow morning. 6-day forecast looking very good. Lots of sunshine. Boy, this is nice. Kind of like spring has sprung already, but I hate to say this, but as the weekend gets closer, Friday, we have another chance of rain. I don't think it's going to be bad, though. It'll be another cold front getting closer here. At this point, it doesn't look that way. It's kind of hard when you're that far out. As you get closer, you'll get a better size of it. But it'll warm back up into the 80s. Still above normal, but this is nice. We deserve it after yesterday.
Who knows if winter's coming back?
Yeah, really.
Thanks very much. Are you addicted to smoking? Well, if you are, it could be in your genes. A scientific discovery may help researchers develop new ways to help you quit. Scientists have identified yet another gene that might affect how vulnerable a person is to cigarette addiction. Studies show having a certain form of the gene makes it easier to kick the habit or perhaps to avoid getting hooked in the first place. It's at least the third gene to show evidence of an effect on smoking. Hey, in the old days, there was just one blimp. Remember? The tire company had its name on the side. Well, now it seems there's always a blimp over Orlando. Tonight, the folks at Blockbuster Video took us on board their floating commercial gas bag, and we went in just because they invited us. As pilot Alan Judd flew over downtown Orlando tonight, he bragged that airships are the safest form of aviation, and much to the surprise of NewsCenter 6 videographer Chris Bilowich, he demonstrated it.
If we were to lose an engine, I'll demonstrate just simply by reducing power on one of them. We just simply keep cruising on the other one. And if the other one were to go to idle, as I'll demonstrate, let's just say, for example, it didn't work anymore, we become a free balloon, just like a hot air balloon, except we have helium instead.
All right, would you just turn those engines back on, please? I just don't think balloon pilots have enough to do up there. What a job. The Blockbuster blimp is here for its annual winter tour of Florida, but by the way, it burns less fuel in 2 weeks than a 747 does on its way out to the runway. Here's a look at last night's winning lottery numbers. No winners this weekend. That means the jackpot rolls over to $29 million Saturday.
At WKMG News Center 6, every night we give you all the day's news.
What's happening today? And what to expect tomorrow? It's news that affects you every day.
From weather reports to health reports, News Center 6 covers it all.
We give you advice, answers, all the information you need to know.
Keeping you informed about what's going on in our community and around the world.
Complete coverage. That's WKMG News Center 6.
You see him on the back roads, you see him on the street. Let me tell you, mister, they sure look sweet. They're sleek and they're smooth and rugged to boot. They're a whole lot of style and they're fun to drive too.
There's a low lease on Ranger at your Southern Ford dealer right now. Drive home Ranger, the most popular compact pickup in America with a $145 a month lease.
They're built for tough and that's a mighty strong stuff. When the going gets tough, you gotta drive a Ford truck.
See your Southern Ford dealer today.
The reality of man's greatest dreams is within reach. With stories so big, they require IMAX screens. Plus, the new Launch Complex 39 Observation Gantry, the new International Space Station Center, and the Apollo Saturn V Center. It's an adventure so powerful, gravity can't hold it. Kennedy Space Center. Get with the program.
Sports Report brought to you by your friends at all 4 Walt Disney theme parks.
There's water. And then there's water. There's fire. And then there's fire. There's evil. And then there's really, really evil. There's imagination. And then there's phantasmic. A dazzling clash of good and evil. Phantasmic. Nightly at the Disney MGM Studios.
They may have legs, and they may be short ones, but they sure can run. And they're off at the Wiener Dog Nationals at Gulf Greyhound Park in La Marque, Texas. La Marque, Texas? The race is in its 6th year, and as always, there were some winners, and as well, there were some that had to be carried across the finish line. Doggone little things run hard. 64 of the fastest dachshunds took part in the race, along with their owners. Their owners had to run too, all competing
That's
for the
fair.
title of Wiener Dog King. How do I segue to that, Pat? Here you are.
Don't.
Okay.
You just let it go.
Weekday forecast.
Weekday. Tomorrow morning, what we're going to do is we're going to wake up with clear skies, and had a few parents say, hey, what do I do with the kids tomorrow morning? I would suggest a little sweater or overcoat, long sleeve. It's going to be mostly clear at about 50 degrees when you wake up in the morning. Then over the next few days, it warms up slowly. I don't have rain in the forecast for the next few days, but I don't mind.
Super Bowl?
If you don't mind.
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl forecast for the next weekend for Miami is going to be in the 80s, and there could be a chance of rain. It's going to get that, Ryan, going to get that kind of tropical feel down there.
It's Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. That's right.
Time to toss over to Ryan with Sports Jam.
Boy, guys, do you have to? I would rather listen to you guys talk about the weather. Coming up tonight on the Sports Jam, Super Bowl week has started now that the Broncos and the Falcons have made it to Miami. Here are today's sound bites. David Duval was just super at the Bob Hope Classic. We'll tell you about his record round. And we'll check in on Orlando Magic training camp and find out if the rookies the team drafted are ready to play. And at least one UCF football player made it to Hawaii for a bowl game. We'll tell you about Sia Burley's big trip to the Big Island. We'll have all that and so much, much more. So stick around and hang with us on the Jam next.
Help us put an end to consumer ripoff in Central Florida. Be a part of the 6 on Your Side consumer team by joining Call for Action. Dial 1-800-647-1756. Together, we can win.
You can't see anything in a car. You can't see past the guardrails in a car. That's why we don't make tiny little cars.
Look, Mommy, a tugboat.
Really? In the water?
Yeah.
In fact, we don't make cars, period.
Mommy, birds.
Wow.
We prefer the view from the look outside and see the world as Suzu Trooper.
Look, Bob, a space zone.
Because you never know what you might miss in a car.
Disney Quest. Virtual. Interactive.
Unbelievable. Every day, more people are choosing Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse.
And here's why. Only Lowe's has the appliance advantage.
With more appliances in stock than most anyone.
All from America's best brands.
Take it with you or we'll deliver it the next day.
Even on Sundays. You won't find a smaller price anyplace else. Guaranteed.
Use your Lowe's credit card before February 11th on selected appliance purchases, and there'll be no payments or interest for 6 months. See store for details.
When it comes to home improvement,
Lowe's.
Hi, I'm Michelle at Jimmy Bryan Honda, the #1 Honda dealer in Central Florida for 4 years in a row. How'd we get to be #1? Great deals like this. Get a '99 Accord LX with air, automatic, power windows and locks, and much more for just $16,949. That's after a $2,600 discount, and we have 6 to choose from at that price. Or get that same '99 Accord LX for no money down and just $219 a month. Just sign and drive. Give us a call at 1-800-NEW-HONDA or come see us, Jimmy Bryan Honda, Highway 1792 in Longwood.
Next, Rosie, talented actress Rosie Perez. You're gonna go crazy for her.
Rosie, I love you.
And the Old Navy lady, Carrie Donovan. Plus, Broadway's Parade. Next, Rosie.
Tomorrow at 4.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging with us one more time on the Sports Jam. March Madness comes early at Madison Square Garden. Eddie Cheever celebrates again at Disney. And at least one UCF football player gets to play a bowl game in Hawaii. All that is on the way. But we get the Sports Jam started with football. Well, sort of. There's Super Bowl week, and then there's the Super Bowl. Before the Denver Broncos and Atlanta Falcons play Super Bowl 33 next Sunday, they'll have to engage in what's also become an American tradition, the never-ending hype of the big game. Let the festivities begin. The Broncos and the Falcons both arrived in Miami this afternoon, and the bulletin board material started coming from both teams before they even got to South Florida. The main storyline this week will be Dan Reeves' rocky relationship with John Elway and Mike Shanahan when he was the coach in Denver.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to respond to him this week. It's over with. The emphasis right here is on the Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons, not my relationship or past relationship with Dan Reeves. As far as I'm concerned, that's over with, and we got a football game to prepare for.
There's no way that I can explain to these players. There's no way Cornelius can, Eugene Robinson, anybody that's been here can explain to the players what this week's going to be like. Until you experience it, you just don't know.
Well, super is one word to describe David Duval's play today in the final round of the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Duval shot a 13 under par 59. He was 7 strokes off the lead when the day began. Duval finished off his phenomenal round with an eagle on 18. He's the third PGA golfer to shoot a 59 in a tournament. Now, despite playing the best closing round in PGA history, Duval had to wait for Steve Pate to decide his fate. Pate could have forced a playoff with the birdie on 18. I don't think he liked them apples. Duval did, as he chews on one. Duval wins the Bob Hope by a stroke at 26 under. He's won both tournaments he's played this year, already making over $1 million. For the first time in 5 months, there is no football to talk about on Sunday, but the Orlando Magic and the rest of the NBA are busy working to pick up the slack in the sports world. It was day 4 of Camp Daily at the RDV Sportsplex in Maitland. If size matters, the Magic are in business. A front line of Ike Austin, Horace Grant, and Bo Outlaw, along with big guards Nick Anderson and Penny Hardaway, could be tough to beat. The Magic have definitely gotten bigger and stronger, but maybe not faster.
It's going to be a strong team. We're not going to beat everybody up and down the floor this year, but in the half-court game, we're going to be incredible.
You know, now that we got that inside game going, and hopefully we can all gel together and be on the same page, and we can create some problems for some people.
I mean, we're 6'7" or whatever at the point guard, so automatically you're bigger and physical, but you still have to play against those people who are smaller and quicker, you know, and that kind of has to be sorted out.
You think you'll be able to get up and down the floor, even the older players?
Well, no, you'll see us getting out. You see him on the wing, and you'll hear me in the back yelling, trailer, trailer.
Trailer, right.
Here I come. He'll get if he can't get a shot up, I'll be down there for a little trailer jump shot. That's right.
You know where to find him.
Yeah, I know where to find him.
All right, coming up later on the Sports Jam, Dave Erickson will profile the 3 rookie additions to the Magic roster. Matt Harpry, Michael Doliak, and Miles Simon are all new to the NBA, but bring a bunch of experience with them. The Magic host the Miami Heat in a preseason game Friday. Today, the Heat picked up forward Clarence Weatherspoon, signing the former Warrior and Sixer to a 3-year deal near $6 million. Heat coach Pat Riley hasn't ruled out adding Dennis Rodman to his roster. Rodman says he wants to play here in Orlando or Miami where it's warm. I think the worm would fit in a little bit better on South Beach. The payback has started for the team formerly known as the world champion Chicago Bulls. The Bulls and the Indiana Pacers opened the NBA preseason today at the United Center. That's right, the Tim Floyd era has begun. No Phil Jackson, Jordan, Pippen, or Rodman, and it showed. Reggie Miller and Rick Smits led the Pacers to a 79-71 win. It doesn't make up for the Bulls' win in the Eastern Conference Finals, but hey, it's a start. The Bulls' leading scorer was Cornell David with 12 points. Who? Cornell David? The investigation of bribery charges against the Salt Lake City Winter Games has snowballed into the ouster of 6 International Olympic Committee members. A special inquiry found 8 IOC members received more than $440,000 in cash and gifts prior to Salt Lake winning the bid for the 2002 Winter Olympics. The games will remain in Salt Lake. Well, trust me, the Sports Jam isn't on the take. Still to come on the Jam, we'll have highlights of a great performance at the NHL All-Star Game in Tampa. It was like March Madness in Madison Square Garden. Find out if St. John's was able to knock off Duke in a thriller. And buckle your seatbelts because we're going into the fast lane. I'll tell you who made it to victory lane at the Mick Yard. Keep hanging on the Jam.
This Sports Jam brought to you by the Daytona International Speedway.
Every winter, they come from all over the world for the Rolex 24 at Daytona, the most prestigious endurance race in North America. Now, you can join the rest of the world in a 24-hour celebration of sports car racing right in your own backyard. It's a festive atmosphere with great drivers and exotic cars racing under the new lights at Daytona International Speedway. It's the Rolex 24, January 30th and 31st. For ticket information, call 904-253-RACE and join the rest of the world in your own backyard.
There's a lot of fun ways to spend your time in Florida, and a couple of fun ways to spend your money. Like on a fun-to-drive Wrangler, now starting at just around $14,800. Or starting at around $16,500, get a rugged two-wheel drive Cherokee and get air conditioning at no extra charge. So if you want to spend your time having fun, spend some time at your Jeep dealer today.
Come to the Florida Strawberry Festival in Plant City.
Acura RL has distinctive styling to appeal to your elegant side. A performance-tuned suspension to satisfy your assertive side. And a sophisticated front and side airbag system to protect both sides. The new RL from Acura.
The stars of the National Hockey League were on display at the Ice Palace in Tampa tonight. The 49th NHL All-Star Game was a great show. Our Dave Erickson was there.
What a great weekend for professional hockey here in Florida, Ryan. Last night, a record crowd of over 15,000 saw the Solar Bears play the Chicago Wolves at the arena. And here in Tampa, thousands of people have descended upon the Ice Palace to witness the 49th NHL All-Star Game. For many people here, it's the last chance they'll have to see some of the greats, not the least of which is the Michael Jordan of hockey, the great Wayne Gretzky.
The player known simply as the Great One arrived to a thunderous ovation. The NHL's all-time leader in goals, points, and assists would thrill the crowd late in the first period. To feed to Montreal's Mark Recchi the goal. It's 4-1 at the end of one. Then Gretzky extended his record for all-star goals with a wrist shot less than 2 minutes into the second period. Later in the second, Gretzky again, the assist to Rob Blake, and possibly his last All-Star appearance, the Great One bags his third All-Star MVP award, and his North American Stars beat the World Stars 8-6.
Well, the NHL All-Star Game is always a great showcase for the sport, and you never know, Ryan, maybe one day we'll see one of the Solar Bears playing in one.
Well, we shall see, Dave. The Orlando Solar Bears are back on the ice today after a tough loss to Chicago last night. Bears hosting division rival Detroit. Great game for Grigory Pantaleev, who scored 2 goals and also had an assist. The game was tied at 3, though, in the third when Mark Beaufait put the Bears ahead for good, scoring on the power play. Orlando went on to beat the Vipers 4-3. It was goalie David Littman's 200th career victory. The Bears will host Indianapolis on Wednesday. Well, in typical Disney style, it was a beautiful day for an auto race. Rain didn't interrupt the IRL Indy 200, which got started with a bang.
Gentlemen,
Start your engine!
Hey, whatever happened to Let's Get Ready to Rumble? Scott Sharp was on the pole for the first race of the Indy Racing League season. Sharp led the first 100 laps of the 200-lap event. The wrecks, well, they came early and often at the Disney Speedway. Lap 108, defending series champ Kenny Brack slams into the back of Walter Saleh's car. Brack done for the day after hitting the wall. Check out Buddy Lazier get tangled up with Steve Knapp coming out of the pits. Sends him flying. Down the stretch, it was Orlando resident Eddie Cheever who made it to the finish line ahead of Scott Goodyear. Cheever wins the Indy 200 for the second time. The funny thing is he drove the last 60 miles without his radio and didn't even realize he'd won.
I was actually lucky because I didn't know that I was leading. I knew I had the fastest car, but there was a car ahead of me that I wasn't catching as fast as I was, so I didn't have any pressure on me. I knew I was the top three, but I really wanted to win it, and we did it. It's my hometown. What can be better than that?
The engines were rumbling again this week at the Speedway, Daytona International Speedway. GM drivers finished up their two-day test session for the upcoming Daytona 500, which is just 3 weeks away. Now, you think success is made defending Winston Cup champ Jeff Gordon soft? Think again. Check out the skull and crossbones on the hood of his number 24 Chevy. His speed of 192.452 miles per hour was second only to Rusty Wallace, the only driver to top 193 miles per hour during testing. Gordon is going for his third title in 4 years, and the Rainbow Warrior says he isn't worried about the rest of the good old boys coming after him.
You know, for us, we don't look at ourselves as having a big target. You know, we just try to focus on what we can do to get better. And if that's enough, you know, to race with the competition or to beat the competition, then we feel like we've done our job.
More and more these days, celebrities from other sports are finding the need for speed. Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino is part owner of a Winston Cup racing team. Maybe Dan has a desire to get behind the wheel, too. Well, you have to start somewhere. Yes, that is Dan Marino burning rubber in a tractor. His buddy Doug Flutie was there, along with Mary Lou Retton and Darrell Waltrip. Retton looks like she moves faster without wheels. These sports stars were in Kissimmee this weekend for the Kmart Kids Race Against Drugs National Championships. Look at Dan Marino taking the checkered flag. Hey guys, take it easy with the tractor and Dan Marino. What are you doing? That's a Hall of Fame quarterback you're dealing with.
This is actually very dangerous. We're in tractors out here. I've never been on tractors before, and I could kill myself out here. I'm much safer on a football field.
I never have raced a tractor before, although I've had some cars that run about like this lately.
Last year, I was here doing the Kmart's Race Kids Against Drugs, and I beat everybody. So not only was that a double doozy to the guys, the Christian Fittipaldi and the Michael Andretti and all these NFL players, but I'm a girl, too, and I beat them. So the pressure's on me to repeat.
If you get asked to do anything, you try to do as much as you can to help out if you can. And you got a lot of guys coming out here today, not only myself, but a lot of other players and professional people that are here to support the kids, and it's for a good cause.
Now, trust me, they really weren't trying to hurt Dan, just having a little fun. Now, I'm sure Marino is glad to be helping a worthy cause, but he'd rather be getting ready to play Super Bowl 33 in his own backyard. How about a Super Bowl prediction, Dan?
Last year, I had a real good feel that Denver was going to win. They'll probably win Denver, but for some reason, I don't know for sure yet. See, Atlanta's, I played both of those teams. They're an excellent football team. Excellent football team.
All right, when we come back, we'll hit the hardwood for some college basketball, and we'll hang loose with former Central Florida star Sia Burley in Hawaii. Right now, check out some scores from college hoops.
What's better than a show that makes you laugh? How about two shows that make you laugh? America's Funniest Game Show is back, and Whoopi's the center square.
I just love being the center of attention.
It's Hollywood Squares.
Be there or be square.
The two funniest brothers are right behind you, Whoopi. Isn't this peachy? And they've got a lot to talk about. I can't wait to hear. It's the funniest hour on TV. Hollywood Squares at 7, followed by Frasier at 7:30 on WKMG Channel 6. Ooh la la.
The all-new 1999 Pontiac Grand Am is in your face. Solid excitement.
the only thing more impressive than the way it's built is the way it looks. Right now, you can drive a new Grand Am SE sedan for just $229 a month for 36 months. $229 a month. The 1999 Pontiac Grand Am. See your Central Florida Pontiac dealer today.
It's the same in the automotive world as it is in the world of fashion. There are lots of models, but very few supermodels. Presenting the stylish luxury and race-inspired performance of the 1999 CL from Acura. Lease the Acura 2.3 CL at your local Acura dealer.
It's been another record year for us, and we just want to say thanks. Hi, Mark Nazrati at Massey Cadillac. We invite you to see our great selection of 99 Cadillacs, like the most talked about sport utility in years, the all-new Cadillac Escalade, with over 400 vehicles on the lot, including 100 Cadillacs on our showroom floors. There's truly something for everyone at Massey Cadillac. So come see us at Massey Cadillac today. I know we'll bring cheer to your new year.
The Orlando Magic have a few new faces to mesh with their returning veterans this season. Ike Austin has gotten all the headlines, but the rookie trio of Matt Harpring, Michael Doliak, and Miles Simon have turned the head of Coach Chuck Daly. Dave Erickson introduces us to the Magic freshman class.
For the Magic's new crop of rookies, this season is the one they thought might never come.
Finally, I've waited 6 months for this, and actually I waited 22 years for this, and it's been rough this summer not knowing whether we're going to play or not, whether the season's going to be canceled, but it's a good feeling now that everything's ready to roll again.
This year, the Magic may have hit the rookie jackpot. All of them, while being new to the NBA, are not new to winning. Guard Miles Simon took his Arizona Wildcats to the '97 NCAA championship. The first-team All-American had 1,600 points and 400 assists while in college and looks to take his pro game to a similar level. One way he's trying to achieve that is by learning all he can from the guy who seems to have become his mentor.
Since I've been here, I've been under Penny's wing the whole time, trying to pick up any and everything I can from, obviously him being one of the best players in the world, you want to learn as much as you can from a guy like that.
The Magic's first pick in the draft and the 12th overall was center Michael Doliak. As a senior, Doliak led Utah to last year's championship game, and in addition to working on his physical skills for the Magic, Doliak, who was an academic All-American, is putting those academic skills towards studying everything he can of the veterans.
It's a great situation for me to be able to come in and learn from these guys' experiences, try and pick up as much as I can in practice and games, just seeing how they play and seeing how they act, and just getting that experience from them.
With the 15th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Matt Harpring from Georgia Tech.
As for Matt Harpring, the small forward is Georgia Tech's second all-time leading scorer and rebounder. Like Doliak and Simons, Harpring is paying close attention to what the vets have to say.
It's great. I couldn't be happier going into this organization. Coach Daly has a couple championships underneath his belt, got a lot of wisdom in there, and, all I can be is a little sponge absorbing everything. And
we wanted players in this draft we thought we could put on the floor. And with particularly Harpring and Doliak, we think that's the case. Miles is trying to find a position, 1, 2, somewhere in the middle, but he's a pretty good basketball player. So I think that they're not surprises. They're as good as advertised, or what we wanted out of them.
Thanks a lot, Dave. I think the young men are going to help. Well, we're still a few months away from March Madness, but Duke and St. John's gave us a taste of some tournament action today. What a college basketball game between the second-ranked Blue Devils and the number 8 Red Storm. St. John's down 3 with the clock ticking down late. Ron Artest looks like he gets away with the travel, but buries the 3 with 1.1 seconds to go. Hey, somebody tapped Red Storm coach Mike Jarvis. He still can't believe it. The game goes to overtime, tied at 81. Duke had to play OT without big man Elton Brand and William Avery, who fouled out, but Shane Battier picked up the slack He gets the hoop and one. Duke escapes Madison Square Garden with a 92-88 overtime win. St. John's Booty Thornton scored 40 points in a losing effort. Well, aloha to you too, sweetie. I lied. There was some football play today. The Hula Bowl in Maui, where there was a mini monsoon. UCF didn't get to play in the Oahu Bowl, but Knights receiver Sia Burley ended up with a free trip to Hawaii after all. Burley played for the South Squad, and Sia, sensational on special teams, going 45 yards on this kick return. Way to represent UCF out there on the Big Island. Burley showed the scouts he can catch the football too. Burley getting the first down off the pass from Michael Bishop. The South settled for a field goal, but Burley looking good. The offense for our boys would come from Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams. Williams ran for 114 yards and scored 2 touchdowns and took out a cameraman. That 11-yarder early in the fourth put the South ahead for good. Williams was the MVP in the South 34-14 win over the North. Some NFL coaching news. This time, the Chicago Bears made sure the ink was dry on the contract before they called a press conference. Dick Geron is leaving his post as defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars to take over the Bears head coaching vacancy. On Friday, the Bears announced Arizona defensive coordinator Dave McGinnis would be their new head coach before McGinnis was officially offered the job. Contract talks broke down. McGinnis passed on the deal and returned to Phoenix. Chicago tried to clean up the mess by hiring Geron quickly. Geron is the Jags' second assistant to get a head job in recent weeks. Chris Palmer is the coach in Cleveland. All right, after a quick break, we'll go back to the Bob Hope to see how Michael Jordan is enjoying all his free time. And we'll add a magic touch to this week's Baker's Dozen. Keep hanging on the Jam.
What's your idea of the perfect minivan? Is it the most luxurious, one with a leather-trimmed and preferred suede interior? Or is it America's lowest-priced minivan that still includes features like easy-out roller seats and air conditioning? There's only one place to choose from the complete selection of award-winning minivans. Your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. Now get $1,000 cash allowance or 1.9% APR on Chrysler and Plymouth minivans.
Come turn the century Southern style at the 99 Florida Strawberry Festival in Plant City.
Every day, more people are choosing Lowe's, and here's why.
If your yard's this big, Lowe's has this. This big?
Lowe's has this.
And Lowe's is the only home improvement warehouse in Cary Joyville.
All at everyday low prices, guaranteed.
Got questions? Experts like me are in every store.
Use your Lowe's credit card before February 11th on purchases of selected outdoor power equipment, and there'll be no payments or interest for 6 months. See store for details.
When it comes to home improvement,
Lowe's knows.
There's a lot of fun ways to spend your time in Florida, and a couple of fun ways to spend your money. Like on a fun-to-drive Wrangler, now starting at just around $14,800. Or starting at around $16,500, get a rugged two-wheel drive Cherokee and get air conditioning at no extra charge. So if you want to spend your time having fun, spend some time at your Jeep dealer today.
Come to the Florida Strawberry Festival in Plant City.
It looks like retirement is agreeing with Michael Jordan. Earlier this week, MJ spent the day on the course with his buddy Charles Barkley and Orlando's Payne Stewart at the Bob Hope Classic Pro-Am. Check out Barkley's approach shot that goes flying into the gallery. Jordan is so tickled to death by Barkley's bad shot, he's laughing and falls to the ground. Barkley would give Mike much more to laugh about on the links. Yesterday, Sir Charles was serenaded by Peter Jacobson and still couldn't hit a good shot.
It's interesting. Jake Trout and the Flounders.
Hey, swing to the beat. Swing to the music.
Peter, back up a little bit.
Get that rhythm, get the rhythm.
Over the other side. No.
Well, if Barkley isn't too busy golfing, he should be here in Orlando on February 21st when the Houston Rockets come to town. Hopefully he won't throw anybody through a window. In this week's Baker's Dozen, we give you a taste of what's ahead this NBA season with a look back at a few magical moments.
Shaves faking a shot, driving around Cato. He dunks it. Blaze to the rim. He took it around the youngster Cato and then hammered it down. Danny Shaves puts the Magic up by 10. Do you believe that? And that basket by Horace Grant gives him 10,001 points in his career. Down by 1, 10 seconds to go. Nick Anderson whirling three-point shot. Up. Nothing but net. Anderson rips the strings.
Magic swings it in. He's under pressure. 6 seconds left. He's double teamed. Fired it up. Bank shot. Oh, do you believe in miracles?
Away by Rhodes. Loose ball is picked up by Outlaw. Shot clock at 1. Outlaw shoots it from half court. He drills it. Boom! Throws it in from half court. A three-point shot. Rudy from Donovan just waves his arms and says, I can't believe it. Burrell driving shot blocked by Outlaw. Picked up by Burrell. Knocked away again by the Magic. And the ball goes over midcourt. Armstrong dives to the floor. Saves it to Derek Harper. He lays it in. That is the play of the year right there.
I know this season's a little bit tainted with that lockout, but I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some basketball, and it's right on the way. The Magic play that preseason game against the Heat this Friday. All right, that's our time for now in the Sports Jam. You know me, I got to ride that midnight train to Altamont. I want to thank the entire Sports Jam crew, especially producer Scott Ingles for making it look good, and sports photographer extraordinaire T. Taylor. Dave Erickson, thanks for your reports. We leave you with another look at Dan Marino tearing up the track on that tractor. We'll see you next week on the Sports Jam, where we'll have highlights of Super Bowl 33 between the Broncos and the Falcons. Have a great week, everybody.
At WKMG NewsCenter 6, every night we give you all the day's news.
What's happening today and what to expect tomorrow.
Keeping you informed about what's going on in our community and around the world.
Complete coverage. That's WKMG NewsCenter 6.
This is your wallet. This is your wallet during the Fatten Your Wallet Escort event. Any questions?
Yeah. What the heck does that mean?
It means your local Southern Ford dealers now offering $1,500 cash back or less than 1% APR on Ford Escort.
The fun is all get out Escort?
Yep.
What about the ZX2?
Even ZX2 features this great deal. See your local Southern Ford dealer now.
Wow. Anything else?
Yeah.
What?
Hurry.
Very cool, I thought, when I saw Clausen Dill next to my hot dog. Cool, crisp, crunchy, so I took a bite. I give it a 99.
Clausen, the pick of pickles.
It's been another record year for us, and we just want to say thanks. Hi, Mark Nazrati at Massey Cadillac. We invite you to see our great